wanted to just introduce myself. My name is Jerome Chisolm. I own and operate Signature Cruise and Travel, which is a partnership, or rather under Travolution, our host agency. And so we're happy to have you here, part of our training effort with Travolution to make sure that each and every agent that's working with us is successful. I started my business with Travolution back in November of 2015. So I'm coming up to 6 years in the travel business. Not a whole lot of time, but certainly a concentrated time because this is my full-time occupation. I used to work as a programmer for over 30 years, managing programmers, actually manager over programmers for most of that time. Maybe about 8 years back, I experienced the second time I was laid off because one company bought another one, and the middle management was the one that got the boot. And I said I wanted to be independent, so I switched altogether. So it wasn't until about 6 years ago that I was even in the travel business. And so if I can do this, so can anybody else that's on this call and that's listening in. When we started with Travolution, within the first 30 days, we were able to actually land a 95 cabin cruise group. And I got to tell you, we were just 30 days in, we didn't know what we were doing yet. But fortunately, because we had the support of our host agency and the training that was available, we were able to get through that one without too much of a hitch. I am a husband and wife team. My wife is listening in. She will be on other trainings in the near future. Her name is Inocencia, and we work together this business. I work it full time, and she works it part-time. I call her the beauty of the business. I'm the brains, I'm the back office, so to speak. But let me just mention, so COVID in 2020 was definitely a hard time for the travel business. We were used to sales, regular sales that amounted to about $1 million a year. And last year, I think we may have did 5,000 or 6,000, or no, about 15,000, if I remember correct. Everything just dropped off. And to be honest with you, that would have been a good reason to say, you know what, let me try something else. But what we actually did is we decided to take that opportunity, to do some additional training in travel, and make sure that we were connected with all the vendors and the suppliers, kept on their calls and their training opportunities. And it allowed us to really relaunch our business and reimagine our business. So after about 5 years of just kind of grinding every day, working with clients to get them booked, we didn't really have a lot of time to think about, well, what's the next steps for our business and how do we grow and where do we take it? Last year, we took that opportunity to really rethink how our business was going to flow, what we wanted, where we wanted it to go, and then start positioning ourselves so that when we were open back up, we were in a good place. It was almost like a therapy year for us, if you can imagine that. So tough times. I'm glad everybody that's on this call if you're here, you're safe, you're healthy, and we pray that your family is healthy as well. With that said, I'd like to just speak about Travolution real quick. We have been with Travolution, our host agency, primarily for two reasons, Dave and Faraday. They have a heart for people and their success, and they've proven it over and over again. We've seen it live and in living color for ourselves. They're willing to invest in people and tools to help us to be successful so that you're in business for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself. And being a part of the Travolution is being a part of a family. And that corporate structure, that corporate vibe and feel has helped us to get to where we are today. And so I want to encourage each and every one of you, you are here at the right time because there's so much going on with the travel now that is allowing us to really grow, and it's exploding already for us. Not to brag or think too highly of myself, but I just want to give you an idea that this month, I'm just looking at my CRM, this month already, it's only the 18th, we've booked $44,000 in business. Now, that didn't just happen in the last 18 days. That had to do with some of the things I'm about to talk to you about now, which is certainly connecting with your clients, connecting with vendors, and that led up to once people started feeling comfortable about travel, we were right here for them and got things started. I've already booked, I think, 3 groups already. Last week, I just no, yesterday I just booked another group to Dominican Republic. People are traveling and they need travel agents to do so, and now more so than ever because of how travel has become a little bit more complex. That travel agents are there to advise people. So we call the official name is travel advisors, but travel agents, but I like to think of us as travel advisors. And when you have that mentality of advising people so that they can get the best vacation possible for their money, as well as time with their family that's done well and well organized, it makes a big difference. And because of that, we've been able to enjoy time over time of referrals coming back to us. We've really never had to put out signs or do big ads. It's been really word of mouth. When you treat people with excellence, they're willing and they recognize that and they keep coming back and sending your friends. So your clients are your biggest cheerleaders is what we found to be the case. So that about Travolution I just wanted to mention. So let's get into this today. What I wanted to really talk about, and now I know I'm talking to some brand new agents and some agents that are already been in the business and maybe had to put a hold on things and now looking to relaunch. So this today I'm just talking about getting started and relaunching your business. This is a discussion I wanted to just discuss. So I'm talking to like 2 groups right now. So bear with me if I'm saying some things you already know. Perhaps even it's a good idea to rehear it so that you kind of like, oh yeah, I got to do that type of deal. So let's get started. So what I wanted to first do is talk to our newer agents about getting started and the basics behind getting started with the travel agency. It starts off in my mind with what is finding out what's your business name, deciding what that's going to be. We decided Signature Cruise and Travel would be what we would go with, and so decide a unique name that represents you, that says who you are, and it gives you an identity amongst the field of travel agents and travel agencies. When you're doing that, make sure you're checking with your state registrar to make sure that that business name that you're selecting is not already taken. You certainly don't want to have a business name and build it up and then get to, when I say business registrar, I'm talking about here in Florida, we have sunbiz.org, for instance. You would hate to be building up a name and it turns out when you're finally ready to register your name, company, somebody else is already using that name and you didn't know it. So check with sunbiz.org after you've decided the name of your business, and go ahead and also check GoDaddy.com or any kind of website domain to make sure that that name is not used already. So first step, come up with a business name. These are some foundational steps that you will take that you will learn as I continue this conversation that will be helpful for you if you take care of these things first as you build your business. Get a business phone number. I always ask everybody to do that. Don't use your cell phone number, your house number, when you're getting ready to call your clients or having people call you to book travel. You want to have a separate number from your personal number. It keeps your business activity separate from your business activity, and your business and personal activity separate. A good free way of doing that is using Google Phone. If you have a Google account, you can, one of the apps within Google is called Phone, PHONE. You can get a free phone number from that and use that phone number. And what will happen is that number will, when somebody dials it, it will ring to your cell phone or your house line, but they won't know that it's coming there. They just think it's a regular phone line and it's free. So that's a way of getting a free business phone number. Get a business email address. I suggest 2. And the reason I do that is you want one that's client facing and another one that's business or vendor facing. What do I mean by that? In my example, we have 2 main email addresses. One that's called office@signaturecruiseandtravel.com, and that's the email address that we give all the vendors, all of the tour operators, all of the business-to-business emails is what, and because once you start signing up with different vendors, they're going to start sending you a whole bunch of emails advertising about what they're offering, and you don't want to kind of miss an important email from a client that's asking you to book a trip to Hawaii. And because it's in the middle of hundreds of emails from vendors sending you all kind of material, you don't see it. So I also have a second email address. It's called book@signaturecruiseandtravel.com. That email address is client facing. All the clients get that email, so that anything that has to do with clients come in through there. It keeps things separate. And the vital thing is that you're not missing client emails, because it's kind of mixed up with so many different emails from vendors sending you deals and offers and things of that nature. You may have to build up to that, but that's one of the things that we often put into place, because once you get successful, and that's what this is all about, becoming successful, getting hundreds of agents going, you don't want to have to then change a year from now and say, okay, clients use this email, or okay, vendors use that email. Start from the beginning with those emails that will designate what the traffic is coming to those email addresses. Think about your business logo. Business logo, just like your name, represents you. Decide what that will look like. What we used when we first started over 5 years ago was a website called Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, for $5. And you give them an idea of what you would like your logo to look like. You will get like 3 logos. You get, I think, 2 tries to tell them how to modify it, and you have a logo for $5. These were low-cost ways that we were, when you first starting your business, you don't have a lot of money, typically at least. So what's helpful is the free phone number and a $5 logo. It goes a long way to starting your business, so that you're not incurring too much of a cost at the beginning. A vital thing that I would recommend everybody to do is get your EIN number for your business. This is an employer identification number that you register with the IRS. It's like your business having its own Social Security number. So Signature Cruise and Travel, our company, has a separate EIN number that's associated with our business. These 5 things that I'm telling you are going to be key starting blocks for you as you move on to building a great and flourishing travel business. If you establish these things now, you get them out of the way, you don't have to worry about kind of undoing things a year down the line when things are getting really busy for you, and then trying to do these things at a later date. So the other thing with new agents that I'd like to speak to you about is finding out and thinking about your niche. And that is what segment of travel you're most interested in. Travel is now a $9 trillion business. That means there's so many different avenues of travel, or things that you can be focusing on in travel. No one person can do it all. I had to, and I learned that kind of like semi-hard way. When you first start your travel business, you're just excited. You just want to sell, and that's great. And after a while, once the volume gets a certain level, it's kind of hard for you to really do well for your clients, because you're not necessarily an expert in Alaska. If they're asking you about Alaska, it's not that you can't find out about it, but that you have to take time to research Alaska a little bit more to know, to give your client the best options that are available to you. Because with travel, one of the things that we do is we try to match our client with the product. It's not just about what the client is asking for. It's oftentimes what they don't say that you have to kind of pull out of them, so that you're matching the product with the client. Sometimes they want to have a good time, and they ask you for a cruise on Carnival, but they're 80 years old. And Carnival kind of has a reputation for the young crew and always hanging out and having a party. So I typically, and Carnival is great for all ages, don't get me wrong, but you have to be mindful mindful that those ships are a little bit more active with the younger crew. And if it's an 80-year-old that's not really interested with a lot of noise and a lot of, and they just want to more so relax, you either pick a ship with Carnival that you know is a little bit more quieter, or you kind of bring them to suggest other cruise lines that will be closer to what they will actually want to experience. And so that's what I mean by having some idea of excuse me, of the what your passion will be. So your passion can, or your hobby, or your favorite types of travel. What is your network? Those are things that you think about when you're thinking about niches. So niches are things like, do you want to sell cruises? And this is and you can have several niches at one time. Don't get me wrong, that you're working on. But ones that you're going to be more focused on is what I really need to kind of emphasize. So it can be selling cruises primarily, or all-inclusives, or maybe you would like to work on destination weddings or river cruises, group travel. That's one of the things that we specialize in, and that's that's one of the ways that we really shot up there as far as sales were concerned. And I'll get into that in a little bit later. So your niches could be subcategories like Alaska and Mexico and the Southern Caribbean. It might be specific hobbies like skiing or bikers or gaming or dog conventions or golfing experiences. The Club Med, for instance, is very big on skiing. They have a number of their resorts are just focused on skiing. And so there are travel agents that deal with just ski vacations, and they become experts at knowing which lodge is best for that 19-year-old versus the 30-year-old, or the skill levels that are involved. They get to know what lodges have the better packed snow versus soft snow. All of those things, even I'm sure David Faraday recently found out about that there's a difference in the type of snow and where you go. So those are things that you get specific training on so that you can serve your clients with excellence. So it might be the types of travel, like I mentioned, group or venture or educational type of travel. The other thing is event planning. That's one of the things that we most recently engaged in. Our businesses have been doing a number of event planning. So what's good about event planning is that you get to help clients pick a venue for their conferences, and you certainly get paid by that, but you also get to fly them all in and book their excursions. So it's like an all-in-one service that we've been able to experience. So through those are types of niches that you have to kind of think about as far as what you want to focus on first. And it does transcend. We started out with groups and cruises, and then we moved into all-inclusives. And now we're doing event planning. My wife has been working with destination weddings. We're working with one right now out of Mexico that we're trying to find for a bride. She's very specific about what she wants. Destination weddings is definitely something you have to really know your P's and Q's about. So think about what you want to focus on first and second, perhaps. It doesn't mean you can't go into the other areas, but you want to definitely have an expertise in certain areas. And then that will be helpful for you as far as efficiency in serving clients. And then, of course, as you master things, you can kind of move on to other things that you might have passions for, or that you have a desire to kind of sell. For agents that have already kind of getting back into the business and restarting and want to relaunch their business, what I've been what I would encourage is what we kind of did during 2020, and that was looking at reinventing or reimagining ourselves, or rather the business. We set new goals for the business, and we reset our focus. When we were selling so much travel leading up to 2020, it really was a every day just researching, sending proposals, booking clients, making changes as needed. It was almost like an everyday thing where you really didn't have a chance to really work on the structure of your business, where the direction you wanted it to go. You were too busy it's almost like a McDonald's drive-through window. You're just handling the orders and not really thinking about the bigger picture. So what we did in 2020 was take that opportunity to rethink after our 5th year anniversary. where do we want to go with this business? What new niches we wanted to explore? And that's when we decided to get into the event planning. And part of that idea of getting into event planning is because we are associated with a number of church groups, and they have conventions. And we noticed that the people that head those conferences really didn't know anything about how to search for venues. And it was funny thing is that every 4 or 5 years there was a new president that had to relearn the whole process all over again. So we were able to connect with those people from different organizations and say, we are visiting those places, we're getting the training for a fee. We can help you narrow down which location is best based on what you're trying to look for, and then we will work with you as far as flying all your guest speakers in, and even your guests, your delegates that are coming in. So that has a huge potential for us, and in that reimagining, and we realized that we had to actually get somebody to start working with us, because the details behind these events, you can have one person just focus on that event if it's big enough all on its own. So you see where I'm coming with this, the growth that can take place, especially when you take some time out. That's why I am asking you to really think about your niche so that you can focus on it, because if you can focus on it instead of a whole bunch of things, your growth potential can really skyrocket in that direction. And once you have it steadied, you can even look at different areas as far as growing your travel and your expertise in different areas. It doesn't mean that you can't service clients in, if you're if you're kind of focused on cruises, that you don't sell an all-inclusive product to people. That's fine, but what you're trying to do is focus as much as you can, and actually, how should I put this? Look for those clients that are looking for cruises, and that's I'll get into in a few moments as to what I mean by that. So when you're relaunching your business, we were able to set our goals, reset our focus, and then from that, we were able to determine our ideal clients. Now, a lot of this I got actually from the training that I received throughout the year from different vendors, different tour operators, that were kind of helping travel agents to kind of stay in the game. This is what you should do. And they were hiring expert panels to really talk to us via online calls. And this gave us an opportunity to really, for free, engage in these experts that really knew the business very well. And last year, there was a lot of that. So I did, every week I was at least on 2, 3, or 4 conference calls or Zoom calls, just picking up points on how to grow the business, how to maintain the business, how to keep engaged with the business, despite, because the $8 trillion bills doesn't go away. It may stop or it may pause, but it will continue. And an example is what I just mentioned earlier about our month so far, and it's only halfway through this month. So that's the other thing I wanted to just mention is now that you have this focus on your business, and you've kind of reinvented and reimagined your business, now you're really looking at what clients you're really going to go after. At first, when we first started our business, it was a free fall. Please just contact us. We just want business. We just want business. And a lot of that was hard, because you got everybody, and not everybody was serious, and you would spend so much time on trying to get somebody, and then they say, you know what, I found it for a nickel more, a nickel less with Expedia, so thank you, but no thank you, but you spent the whole day. Anybody that's been in the business long enough has experienced something of that nature. So that can be very disappointing, but there's ways to kind of become efficient at it, where you're kind of like vetting your clients, if that makes sense. You get to the point, that's where we are at this point. There's no more, we try not to deal with the clients that are just nickel and diming you, or using us as a research engine, and then they say, no, never mind. And then you find out, you see pictures on Facebook where they're at the exact same place that you advised them to, but they decided to do it on their own because they didn't want to, they found it's cheap at bookit.com or something like that. And so we've decided not to become a free research agency anymore. So people, and we found terms to use with clients that will kind of help them to be committed in the process just as much as we were. Things like, for example, if somebody calls that want a trip to Jamaica, and especially somebody that's not a client that I know the history of or I've worked with before, brand new, and I'll say things like, when are you looking to book? Because sometimes you will find that they're not really thinking about booking now. They just want to kind of get an idea, and because you're offering your services to find things, as far as they're concerned, it's not too much off their backs for you to do the work, to do the research, and they're not really even thinking about booking until the summer. And so I've asked, when are you looking to book? Because if it's not now, it doesn't make sense to send you prices for airline, because we all know the airline prices change almost during the day several times, let alone different parts of the year. The other thing I will ask them is, if I find the price that you're looking for, I will actually go over what they asked for and say it back to them. So that it's clear between me and them what they're asking for. If I give you this and give you that and give you this, how, would you be able to book today or tomorrow or at that, once I find you that price or number? If they him and hum and you know that they're not really serious at this time, well, let me know when you are serious, not serious, I won't say that to them. Let me know when you are ready. And if you think you'll be ready next month, then I'll put a note in my CRM, client relations software, to management software, to go ahead and contact you a month from now, and then see if you're ready. That way, I didn't spend this week spending a couple hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it takes to look for something that they weren't going to be engaged with anyway. So you have to manage your time that way. And so I've learned to start vetting clients so that I can spend the quality time about clients that are ready to book now, and just categorize. So I have clients that are talking about Hawaii. Just got off the phone yesterday about a client that says, I would love to go to Hawaii. I'm thinking about going to Hawaii. It's a regular client. And I asked them, well, what are they thinking about? What are they talking about celebrating their 65th birthday? But they're talking about doing that 2 years from now. So I said, you know what? I'll put it in my calendar. For Hawaii is something you should plan a little over a year in advance. I'll put it in my CRM to touch base with you about 18 months prior to your birthday. I know their birthday because it's in my system, and I just set it as a reminder for now. So so I have a number of those type of engagements where it's something that I come back to. And the thing is that people really appreciate that they, especially when you use your client relationships management software well, because you can put notes in there about what people want, what they're doing, what's going on in their life. When you're engaging clients to that level, I don't remember. Right now, we have close to 3,000 clients. There's no way that I can remember the conversations I'm having with clients and what's going on in their life, who may have passed away, who was sick, who lost a job, things of that nature. But I do put it in my notes. And then when I call them back, I bring up my notes and read it off to myself so that I'm engaging them as if we're just picking up from the last time we spoke. People appreciate that. I'm not being disingenuous about it, but if I'm taking out time to put notes in it, that's in fact more generous than anything else, because you're taking notes about people's lives and then asking about it. So that has helped us to also build, because we're showing people that it's not about just the trip and getting some money off, earning money, but also, a relationship is what we basically have been able to develop with a client, one client at a time. For those agents that are looking to relaunch their business, you get back into the business and restart their business, the other thing we looked at doing was refreshing, for instance, our logo. It's not necessarily changing it, but taking that same logo, taking it to another artist and saying, we want a fresh look. People like new. And so that helps to kind of engage people as it relates to, excuse me, because your logo goes in on almost everything, and when they see that, it triggers like a good feeling about you and your business. I would also recommend to any agents that are relaunching to start a I'm Still Here to Serve You campaign. That can be via email, that can be I've been using text more often. I found with that Google phone service that I was just telling you about, I'm able to, because you can access your Google phone service from your computer, I can type my messages from my computer keyboard as opposed to on a phone. And I'm able to send groups of text, group texts to clients, and you're able to attach pictures to those texts. And what I found, and this is something I learned in training last year, is when you attach a picture to a text, people will engage that text more so than just seeing something that's just another text that's only text. So if I'm sending a proposal to a client, for Jamaica, I will send that proposal via email, but I will also text them with a picture that says Jamaica with a beach behind it. It's just a picture that you grab from Google, and I just upload it to the text. And I said, your proposal to Jamaica has been emailed. Take a look, and we'll be in touch with you by tomorrow if I don't hear from you today. And those type of things, those has all those little points that we were learning last year about engaging clients have gone a long way. So because there's a number of clients that have called us and said, and this is why we started the We're Still Here to Serve You campaign. Not only did we hear others doing the same thing, other multi-million dollar earning agents do the same thing, but we received enough calls from agents that said, are you still in the travel business? They just assumed, because travel had died so much last year that that you may or may not be in the business. So you're kind of getting ahead of that by for those people that have already been in the business, have a client base. Let them know that you're still in business, so we're here for you. Get the word out. Send those texts. Send a picture that says we're here for you, or hello. I have a big hello image that I use that I put in a text. Hello, how are you doing? Engage with your clients. Get back to really, it's something that we were trained to do throughout the year last year. Just hi, how are you doing? Nothing about travel. Hi, how are you doing? I hope you're safe. I hope you're well. We're here for you. Let us know how we can help you. And that was pretty much it. We did that by email. We did that via text. We were even scheduled to, we didn't do it, but we were scheduled to even do it with postcards, because the different clients look at different things, and not everybody's a text person, not everybody's an email person. Sometimes you have to even send things in the mail. So don't rely on one source, is what I'm trying to say in contacting clients. Use multiple sources, which I will lead to in the next few minutes. So to everybody on this particular training, let me just talk about some of the tools that you can use. Some of you already know this. Some of this I will be reminding you. For those that are new, hopefully this will be helpful. Definitely get your business cards. It doesn't have to be expensive. There are free versions of them. You can go to Staples and print them out yourself, but get business cards. Putting business cards in people's hands still works. I was just at a business luncheon. I asked another person for their business card. As I was talking to them, I gave them my business card. I make a habit of just giving my business cards out. It's a numbers game, but when I asked them for theirs, they didn't have one, and so there was no way for me to reach them. And so this was another fellow agent at a function that I was at, and I said, you really need to get your business cards. So get your business cards so that you can help get the word out, so that people know how to contact you, whether it's by email, by text. Get your business cards going. Definitely, if you're starting this business or have to relaunch it, get your website up and running. I know that Travolution uses our agent studios, so you can contact Travolution support team for how you can get your website going. To have we use Agent Studio. We've been using them for the last 5 years. They have a lot of great tools within that website that I won't get into at this time, but in further videos, I will be training on various these types of tools. I'm just doing an overview for tonight to give you an idea of how to relaunch and get your new business started. So definitely you need a website. The reason that's really important, this has been proven to me over and over again. Sometimes people won't even work with you unless you have a website. It's not that you have to have anything special on it, but something about having a website legitimizes your business. And so It's important and it's key. The owners of Travolution made sure to find a vendor that we can work with, that's reasonable in their cost and has great tools within the website that are really fabulous. We've used quite a bit of them. So getting a website is something I've had, especially when you're dealing with groups. So when people want to know that you're legitimate. That's one of the first ways they find that out, by you having a business website. So get a business website is something I would say to do as quickly as possible. And like I said, just contact support team at Travolution to find out how you can use the vendor that we use. Get a CRM. And this is a client relation management software. This is a software where you keep all of the clients' names, addresses, their date of births, who's their mama, who's their papa, all of that information, all of the past sales, all of the proposals, it's a record of everything you're doing with that client. If you use that tool well, I use that tool every single day to stay in touch with clients, to know to keep up with actually the schedule with the clients, because every day that CRM will pop up with what I need to get done that day, whether it's booking somebody a final payment that's due that I booked for somebody a month ago. They paid a deposit, now they have to pay the final payment. It's up to me to remind the client and collect that their credit card and go ahead and make those payments. So the CRM also stores credit card information for your clients, so you don't have to keep asking for it, and it is done in a compliant way. Also get familiar with Google Forms. That's a great way of saving yourself time with getting the preliminary information that you need from a client, like names, address, the trip that they want to take, things of that nature. They fill out an online Google form, and I'll train on this at one of our later training sessions. But Google Forms have been key for me, especially when we're working with groups, so that if you have like the last group we had was about 75 to 80 people booking for a particular group. You don't want to be on the phone asking, what's your name, what's your address? You don't have time for that. With Google Forms, you can send them a link. They click on the link, they fill out their information. The information gets sent back to you via email, and and then you can just copy and paste that information right into your CRM, the software that you use to keep all the client information. That also protects you, the CRM, because as everybody knows, when you book a flight, the name has to be exactly as it appears on the ID that they're using. Domestic is usually their license. International, they're usually using their passport. If they are putting their name in incorrectly on the Google form, but you use that information to book them, and then they find out that they're having trouble getting on a flight, or they realize that the name was incorrect when they're looking at the confirmation. It costs a lot of money to change the name on a ticket. Typically, after 24 hours, 24 hours, the TSA rule is within 24 hours you can cancel a ticket and redo it at the current price, of course, not at the same price necessarily, but without a fee, basically. But after 24 hours with an airline ticket, they charge you quite a bit, or in many cases, you can't make a change and you lost the money. If they filled out that Google form with the name, and on the Google form, I always ask them to put their, please indicate their name as it appears on the ID that they're traveling with. So that's my disclaimer. If you didn't put it in right, I just had a client that I booked to Jamaica. He forgot to tell me, I know the person, I just didn't know he was a junior. So his name is, for lack of for this example, his name is James Taylor Jr., but he only told me his name was James Taylor at the time that I booked him. And I literally booked his flight to Jamaica with James Taylor. And then I happened to be talking to him about his confirmation. He says, you know what, his son name is James Taylor too. And I said, wait a minute, your son name is James Taylor and you're James Taylor. How y'all know each other? The difference between each other, as far as when they see their same names on the same document. That's what I meant. He said, well, I'm a junior. I said, is that on your passport? He said, yes. I said, well, you didn't tell me that. And your ticket has already been purchased with just James Taylor. Now, because of the relationships that we've built with vendors, we were actually able to have that changed. And it did take me escalating it to people that we've met since we've been in the industry. but I saved a client the loss of that ticket or the cancellation fee or the change fee that would have been involved, which for that Jamaica ticket, we're talking about a couple of $100. Because of the relationship that I have developed with the vendor that I purchased it through, which was one of the great vendors that Travolution has helped us to establish, and that was with Centrav. That's a air consolidator. Because I've done so much business with them, and they were able to get it done. It did take some, extra steps. It wasn't like a quickie thing, but as opposed to somebody, Joe, new person contacting them type of thing, they would have just gave you the kind of the script. We can't change it without a couple of $100 fee. They didn't even charge us for it. So I was able to save the day for that. And the client was very happy. But with that example, the client is that much more confident about our services and certainly recommending us to us. And out of that particular booking came two more for that same booking from that same client. They recommended us to two more people, and we booked them as well. So one of the things that we've learned during last year was to, hey, make sure to get the names right, even if it means having them send a picture of the passport so that you know it's right, because of all the hassle that's involved in getting something changed or to minimize the cost to get it changed will save you. So one of the things you might want to do is get a picture of the passport so that you have the name. But the Google form was another way of doing that, and in certain cases, that happened to me with another trip I just booked last week. He gave me his name as it appears on the ID, and I said, "Are you sure? Because your father's the same name. He's the same name, but the third." And I said, well, and I didn't book it yet. And so I've become keen on, especially on trips where I see two of the same names. Hey, are you sure it's the same name? There's nothing else on your passport? So these are things that are key, important from experience. You get to learn that will keep you from spending hours of work trying to correct things that you could have gotten right the first time. The Google form helps you do that because they have to give most people know their names and how to spell it properly, but still keep an eye out for those type of things. I went way further with Google Forms than I was planning to, but those examples came up in my mind, and I just wanted to share it with you so that you don't have those type of experiences. Names are important when you're booking flights. The other tool we most recently engaged in is called Travelify. It's a proposal software that's has very nice pictures. You get to pick your own pictures. You can put videos of the resort in this proposal. It's been a great tool for us to really sell resort any type of proposal that we're trying to put together. And we've had, I would say, 90% success with using Travelify with a proposal and selling what that proposal was including, because it was just much more vibrant than, what we used to do 5 years ago when we wanted to send a proposal to a client as to, hey, I want to go to Jamaica. You sent it, you typed everything into an email and you kind of copied and paste a picture of the resort into the email and things of that nature. Well, those days are gone. We have professional tools now that kind of puts all of those things and makes it nice and pretty. I will show you that, and we'll be speaking with Travolution support about perhaps presenting that as a tool for the rest of the travel agents that are signed up with us. So the other thing I wanted to kind of talk to you about tonight, and I'm getting close to the hour that I'm supposed to be on, but I want to get a few these kind of general things out so that we can get restarted in a very fresh and exciting way. And the thing that I thought would be most thoughtful or really interesting to everybody is how do we get clients? We've been, like I said, we're close to about 3,000 clients now. That is in the past almost 6 years. Much of that has been because of the niche that we decided to explore first, which was groups. Because what the special thing about groups is, if you have a group, when you do an excellent job with that group, you're working with each individual in the group. That 95 cabin cruise, we worked with each individual. Some people had unique situations that we had to deal with, but we got to speak to each one of them. We engaged each person. We made sure that they were happy with the selection. Sometimes they wanted to, I want to be next to this person. I want my cabin next to this person. Can we have this and can we have that? And we really engaged that with people. Out of that came people that had their own, that went on that 95 cabin cruise, separate family unions a year later. Who did they come to? They came to us because of how we handled them when they were on that 95 cabin cruise. There's girls trips that came out of that. There was family reunions that came out of that. There was just family trips that, grandma, grandpa, all the sisters and brothers came together. So out of that came a lot of FIT or individual. FIT is short for individual, with frequent individual travelers, or individual travels when you just travel like one or two people. That's what I mean by FIT. A lot of independent travel came out of that group, and out of that we just kept busy from that, and then we had several other groups that came out of that group, so it just exploded. And so that's what helped us to get to the numbers that we were at. Excuse me, let me just drink some more. Excuse me. So how do we get clients? I wanted to just speak into that real quick, because that's hard. So this is how we started to get ourselves known, and with the tools that I spoke to you about. We had our logos, we had our business phone number, we had our business email address. All of that was in place before we started trying to fully looking for clients or getting the word out. Because once you have clients that see you, they need to know how, they need to be able to contact you. So that's why I started first with those initial things that you need. So we certainly, once you got that business name, and I told you how we had to look for the business name in your local state registrar, with the Google GoDaddy, to make sure that that name was not taken by something else. Once we got all of that done, we opened up a business Facebook page for Signature Cruise and Travel, an Instagram page for Signature Cruise and Travel, a Twitter page, but all of those social medias, we opened it up. We had our logo as the face instead of my face. It was the logo. And then we started populating those with those sites with different facts about travel, just to keep people engaged and interested about it. But we also, excuse me, I don't know what's going on. I'm so sorry. So once we were, but what we did with those social media accounts is we were also making sure people knew how to contact us with that business phone number or the business email address. And as vendors were sending us sales, like Royal Caribbean has a sale this week, I think it's extra $450 off or something of that nature. And they send you that in an email. All I do is take those emails, copy the picture off the email, put it on those sites, and some information about this is what's going on. Contact us if you're interested. And so that's another way of kind of making sure you're keeping people engaged with all those social media sites. So that was one of the ways that we were able to find clients, or clients found us. The other thing was we started calling and emailing and talking to friends and family. And letting them know, hey, we're in the business of travel. If you need a trip, we're trained, and we have access to great offers. We try not to say prices. Words are key, so we always mention the word offer. We have great offers that we can send your way. And so the only thing I would do is say as a caveat, friends and family can be your best clients, or they can be your worst clients. Give me the hookup, or because they're familiar with you, they may be the ones that don't take you as seriously about your business, and that's okay. Use them to practice on, but don't think it's you. It's just what it is. All of us have gone through that, where friends and family can let you down, or some of them will let you down. It's not you. It's just a part of what happens. announce yourself at social clubs. If you're part of um, a golf team or a biker club or whatever that your social club that you're associated with, let them know that you're in the business. That's what helped us earn the 95 cabin. We were part of a social club that does community work, and they were doing a fundraiser. The cruise was used as a fundraiser, and so one of the reasons that we won that bid was because we were willing to give back. What we told them was, you give us the business, and for every cabin that that we get from this group, we'll we'll give a certain amount of money to the organization. So that came out of our commissions, but it was better than not having anything to be able to offer that. And then we immediately had a relationship with Club Med, and our BDM offered us a free weekend as a giveaway that they could use as a raffle. So we gave that to them as well to further help them and partner with them as it relates to the fundraising effort that they were trying to make. So with the social clubs, with your churches, and any other type of gathering type of resource that you're involved with, it can be with the Boy Scouts league that you take your son to, or the Girl Scouts league that your daughter goes to. Let them know that you're a travel agent. If they're doing fundraisers, let them know that there's ways that they can travel together and fundraise. So they're having a vacation and they're doing something towards something that they're contributing towards something that they really love and are engaged in. So the other thing that we did was we told every business that we use, our barbers, while we were sitting in the chair, hey, I'm a travel agent. My barber wanted to do some appreciation for the employees, and I got business from my barber. You can do it with your beautician, the plumber that comes to your house. Hey, here's my business card if you want to travel. Everybody that's come to my home to do any kind of work did not leave without my business card, and everybody's interested in traveling. So they took the card gladly, and some called, some didn't. That's fine, but when you get into the habit of it, that your business grows. When I was at the grocery store checking out, hey, you ever traveled? Or are you looking to travel soon? And yeah, of course. And everybody, travel is an easy subject to engage people with. You don't have to necessarily sell them on it. You just have to let them know that you're in the business and that you're available if they are interested in getting a great offer. The clerks at the bank, anyone that you patronize should know that you're in the business. And so that's what we did. That has helped us. We were in the habit of always letting people know here. That's why I was telling you about the business cards earlier. If you have a business card, that's the easiest way to get your information to them, as opposed to trying to find a piece of paper and write it down. With that logo on there that you've come up with that represents you, it'll take you eons of. So I definitely let everybody that you know, and in this case, that you're back in the business, that you relaunched your business, you started your business. Be excited about it when you're telling people about it. You don't necessarily have to sell anything. And that was me. I never was a salesperson. I don't like sales. But with travel, you don't have to sell it. People do it anyway. And what we found is that people will do it, will book with people that they like, they will do it with people that show that they care about them. Because I tell people plenty of times, you have a dentist, you have a lawyer, and you need a travel agent. So that's one of the professional entities that you need to make sure to have. People will shop online, and that's fine, but travel agents are more than just agents. As I said earlier, they're advisors. And so, especially in a time like this, what we found has increased the value for travel advisors is COVID. COVID is something that people are still wrapping their heads around as far as, well, I'll get calls, is that island open? Can I do this? Can I do this? Is cruise open yet? And because of the training that I've been able to engage in, that I'll speak to you about in a moment, I've been able to talk to them or respond to them off the top of my head because I was in training. I know it, and people respond to people that know their craft is the best way I can put it. You may not know all the answers. It's too much to know, but at least you have some idea. So when people ask, well, I really would like to cruise, I can let them know, hey, what the cruise lines have been doing, especially like Royal Caribbean, is yes, they've suspended cruising through the end of June, but they're starting out of the U.S., but they're cruising in Europe successfully, in Singapore successfully, and they're going to be launching before the U.S. Cruises, the cruises out of Bermuda. Now you can fly to Bermuda and start your cruise from there, as opposed to starting from here, the U.S., and go to Bermuda. The Bahamas, now you can fly to Bahamas and start your cruise from there. Less restrictions involved. CDC is not involved with that. And so that's an inexpensive trip from Florida to get to Bahamas. This is less than an hour to get there. And they've also opened up another home port in Barbados. I've already booked 4 cruises out of that. And I did it with the advantage of being on these calls that these vendors are hosting each week, is that you get to be the first to know. They literally will tell the travel advisors first before the public. And so what I was able to do is I had clients that are just itching to cruise. I told them about the Bahamas launching. I knew they would like Bahamas because Bahamas is launching in particular. It's so far south that there's a whole new unique itinerary, islands that people have never been to. People that are regular cruisers, they had been there, done that in most of the cruise stops. But out of Barbados, there are a number of new ports that they've established. And so I was able to get a group of people on that cruise out of Barbados the first month it was out. And since then, the prices have doubled. I couldn't believe how fast they increased the prices. Once the word got out, they were able to raise the pricing. And the Barbados cruising is from December to April only. It's a seasonal thing. And so that's why the demand is so great there. So it's things like that when you're staying connected with the vendors that will help you to really serve your clients with excellence. So my clients, instead of learning about it now, when the word is now getting out to the public, I was able to tell them when it first was announced, get them on at half the price you can get on now. What I sometimes do as a service at Signature Cruise and Travel is every once in a while, because I know there's price matching tools that are available. You're right. Let me take a drink. I'm trying to get out as much as possible because I'm excited about everything that is going on. I want everybody on this line and that's listening to me to be extremely successful at travel, so that we can really engage our friends, family, and clients and really win for them. So one of the things that we do is check prices every few months, because we know that there's a price matching tool that Royal Caribbean has. And every time I've gone back to that Barbados cruise, it keeps going up and up. It does not go back down after that. So definitely it's the way to really contact your clients, or get yourself known, get your Facebook page up. Once you have your logo, once you have the name of your business, once you have their phone number, once you have your email address, you can start engaging clients at a greater scale. You don't want to have to go back to them and say, hey, my number changed. Don't use my cell phone number now. Use my new business number. Start it right from the beginning. I gave you tools that are free to be able to do that. So one of the last things I wanted to just talk about is training. To be able to serve your clients with excellence. And the reason that's my motto is because if you do it with excellence, as I said, our clients have been our biggest cheerleaders. We have not really had to do any serious advertising. We have all the social media accounts open and running, and we do share sales and offers. I don't like even saying sales, offers that the client that we find that we get in the emails. But when you are on these calls on the online training, when you engage in 1, 2, 3 hours of training throughout the week, or whether it's self-driven by going to their sites, or when they have the update calls. Royal Caribbean has what's called a coffee talk by the senior VP of Royal Caribbean. She gets on the line, Vicky, and talks about what's happening now. And she makes it a point to say, hey, you know about it before the public does. That gives us a key measure to be able to really share with clients as if we're in the know, because we are. They're sharing these things with the clients, with the agents. So Royal Caribbean, Carnival, and Norwegian all have online universities. You can self-pace and learn what you need to know about these cruise lines if cruising is going to be one of your niches. Once you become certified with their universities or training tools, you get a different designation in depending on the cruise line, where you can get have perks that are for you personally when you're cruising, but also for your clients. You are open to get those perks that you can offer them, and that will set you apart from when they go online. When you quote a price to Jamaica, a cruise to Jamaica, I have been able to offer. When I set them a cruise to Jamaica, I'll tell them, and they get the cruise line is giving a $50 onboard credit, but Signature Cruise and Travel is giving you a $25 onboard credit. Now, this is not something you have to do. This is what I do. We do certain things that will help set us apart from what they can look on for online, and so that and you'll be surprised who will book with you over $25. Or I will send them something into their room, we'll give you a wine package out of a room. So sometimes, depending on the client, this is not everybody. These are more so our VIP clients or clients that we do regular business with. Well, we'll do that. When you're willing to invest in them, they just keep coming. And so we've learned to do that, not trying to buy them off, or so to speak, but I try to make whatever I'm offering them unshoppable online. If they go on and check it, they see there's some kind of advantage with doing it through Signature Cruise and Travel. So those trainings will, if you once you start registering with these vendors like Royal Caribbean, like Ryu and Sandals, and some of the all-inclusives, they will be sending you emails about their training opportunities. Most of them are online because of COVID, but a lot of them are luncheons, fam trips. We didn't even get into that yet. Just last week, I was at a luncheon with the Dominican Republic, hosted here in Orlando. Wonderful trip at Maggiano's, luncheon at Maggiano's, great meal, a lot of good training. They told us about how Dominican Republic will no longer be requiring COVID testing after, I want to say June, or it might be May. Don't quote me on that, but it's just very soon. They're not requiring that at all. All they're requiring is that you get on your phone once you log in and fill out an online form indicating, no, I don't have any symptoms, and that's it. So that will be key for the clients that I just booked to the Dominican Republic. They'll be feeling a lot more comfortable. All of the hotels are offering free COVID testing, because you are required to have that when you come back to the U.S. These are things that are as they are updating, because the information is updating every week. I'm getting that information through the vendors, as well as watching the CDC website, so that when I'm talking to clients, I'm up on what they need to know. Every proposal that we send since last year, at the end of the proposal, there'll be a link to the local ministry. So if I'm sending them to Mexico, there would be a link to the Mexican Tourism Board, for instance, that will tell them the updated information about COVID. I've ever tried to put too much information about COVID about any place that I'm sending them to in an email, because it might be outdated by the time they look at it again a week from then. So I always just send them the link to the ministry or the tourism office of that particular country, and say, take a look at that, make sure you're up to date on what's required for that. So that's an extra link, because not everybody is resourceful enough to do that and look into where to go for that information. And so we found out how to go ahead and find that information, and we make sure to include that into proposals that we're sending out. So those luncheons are very helpful. They're also, you sit with a lot of agents that have been in the business for a long time, and you learn from each other, and you also learn from the vendors. There's a new service that DR has with discounted flights out of Miami that I didn't even know about and wouldn't have if I wasn't in that meeting. They're also sending agents that was at that luncheon to putting them on the list for the next available FAM, because we showed investment in that particular event to come. So some people won free trips. That's the other nice thing about these training opportunities. They do work with send people on great trips, and you win some great prizes. We've been on a number of great prizes as well. A number of tour operators do training as well. Vacation Express, Go Vacations, Travel Impression. Those are all tour operators that you are connected to when you're connected to Travolution. Go Vacations was our first experience with Go Vacations is when the owners of the company, I think it was Dave and Faraday, was able to negotiate a FAM trip to Hawaii, where we trained to be Hawaii certified. But we went to Hawaii to do it. We had to sit through some training, but we had a great time after the training. So the training is going to be a key component so that you can serve your clients with excellence. It's going to be a great tool for you to really show that you know what you're talking about and validate you and let clients feel comfortable about your experience, your job knowledge, and it sets a higher value for you, sets you apart from other people. The CRM that I saw a question, the CRM that Travolution has connected us with is called eTravel Solutions. The website provider that Travolution connects us to is called Agent Studios. All that information you can get through, by email and Travolution at support@yourtravolution.com. They'll be more than happy to help you out with that. And so that's my presentation tonight, except for one more thing. For those people that are selling insurance out of Florida, every state is differently. You should register with Florida Seller of Travel. That is something that the Secretary of State of Florida, anybody selling travel out of Florida, you must register with the state. And because you're connected to Travolution, the fee is dramatically less. It's $50. When you're ready to register your business with the state, you go to sunbiz.org with your EIN number that I asked you to get earlier. And because you don't want it registered under your social security number. That sets, it just helps you. Your tax person can tell you more about that, but it's to your advantage to get an EIN number for your business. Speak to your tax professional about that. But to register with Sunbiz is $150. So those are things that you should eventually get to as quickly as you can, so that because when you're registered with the state, that also I have had clients that or vendors that wanted to give us a great offer. They looked us up to see if we were registered with the state before they would do it. So yes. That's why I'm mentioning these type of things. So there was times where we would have lost a group if we didn't have these things in place. So Florida Sellers of Travel, if you are living in Florida and operating out of Florida, that's a $50 deal. And sunbiz.org with your EIN number, which is free to get, the EIN number. Make sure to register your business as soon as you possibly can. It's not necessary to do it right away. It's good to be able to protect that name so that you, once you have it registered, it's your name, and nobody can't take it or use it also, because until it's registered, anybody can use that very same name, essentially. So that's my presentation for tonight. I look forward to some in-depth, now that we have kind of like a general overview of getting started and relaunching our business, talking about some of the tools that's going to be useful and how you actually use it. So next week we'll be meeting at 8 o'clock on April 25th. And again, thank you so much for your time. See if I have any questions.